Question 1. Which of the following is not a responsibility of an adjuster during the claims process? A. Estimating the damage to property based on visual inspection and documentation. B. Determining the validity of a claim based on the insured's policy language. C. Setting the premium rates for the insurance policy. D. Communicating with the policyholder to inform them about claim developments. Answer: C. Setting the premium rates for the insurance policy. Explanation: an adjuster's role is to assess and settle claims, which includes estimating damage, communicating with policyholders, and interpreting policy language to determine the validity of claims. However, setting the premium rates for an insurance policy is the responsibility of the underwriter, not the adjuster. Adjusters focus on claims handling rather than policy pricing or underwriting decisions. South Carolina insurance regulations specify that adjusters must handle claims with fairness following the rules established by the insurance code. Question 2. Mr. Smith is an adjuster handling a commercial property damage claim where the insured's warehouse was damaged due to a fire. The fire department's report states that the fire was accidental. After inspecting the property and interviewing the insured, Mr. Smith determines the cost to repair the building is $350,000. The building's replacement cost is $400,000, but the policy only covers actual cash value (ACV) and the building is 10 years old. How should Mr. Smith calculate the settlement amount? A. $350,000. B. $400,000. C. $350,000 minus depreciation. D. $400,000 minus depreciation. Answer: C. $350,000 minus depreciation. Explanation: the insured's policy covers actual cash value (ACV), which is the replacement cost of the property minus depreciation. The replacement cost to rebuild the building is $400,000, but since the policy covers ACV, depreciation must be deducted. The building is 10 years old, so depreciation needs to be calculated based on the age and condition of the property. For example, if the depreciation rate is 5% per year, the depreciation for 10 years would be $40,000, leaving the settlement amount at $350,000. Adjusters must assess depreciation in accordance with the policy's terms and the actual loss incurred. Question 3. Which of the following is a potential consequence for an adjuster who fails to properly investigate a claim according to South Carolina insurance regulations? A. A fine for submitting incomplete claims. B. Suspension of the adjuster's license for up to 5 years. C. A recommendation for a lower salary. D. No penalty as long as the claim is ultimately paid. Answer: B. Suspension of the adjuster's license for up to 5 years. Explanation: South Carolina's insurance regulations hold adjusters accountable for the thorough investigation of claims. If an adjuster fails to conduct a proper investigation, it can result in serious penalties, including suspension of their license for up to 5 years. In addition, neglecting to adequately assess or mismanaging claims can also lead to legal actions, fines, or loss of professional credentials. The South Carolina Department of Insurance emphasizes that adjusters must comply with ethical standards and legal guidelines to prevent fraud and ensure fair treatment of claimants. Question 4. Which of the following is not a key element that an adjuster must consider when evaluating a liability claim? A. The policyholder's liability coverage limits. B. The extent of bodily injury or property damage. C. Whether the policyholder was acting negligently. D. The insured's personal financial situation. Answer: D. The insured's personal financial situation. Explanation: when evaluating a liability claim, the adjuster must focus on the policyholder's coverage limit, the extent of damages, whether bodily injury or property damage, and the negligence of the party involved. The insured's personal financial situation does not typically impact the claim evaluation, as liability insurance is meant to cover the damages up to the policy's limits. South Carolina law and insurance regulations emphasize that adjusters should assess claims based on coverage and loss, not on the financial status of the policyholder. Question 5. Which of the following best describes the role of an adjuster in the negotiation of a settlement? A. The adjuster decides the final settlement amount without consulting the policyholder. B. The adjuster is responsible for negotiating a settlement in the best interest of the insurer. C. The adjuster determines the final settlement amount in coordination with the insured only. D. The adjuster acts as a mediator between the insurance company and the claimant to reach a fair resolution. Answer: D. The adjuster acts as a mediator between the insurance company and the claimant to reach a fair resolution. Explanation: an adjuster plays a pivotal role in negotiating settlements between the insurer and the claimant. The adjuster should mediate a fair resolution by evaluating the claim's merits and the coverage provided by the policy. While the adjuster does not have the final say on settlements, they are responsible for ensuring that the process is transparent and equitable for both parties. South Carolina's regulations require adjusters to adhere to ethical guidelines in negotiations, avoiding any conflicts of interest and ensuring impartiality. Question 6. Scenario: Jane is an adjuster handling a business interruption claim for a local coffee shop that was temporarily closed due to water damage. The insured provides financial records showing a loss of $25,000 in revenue during the 3 months the shop was closed. Jane calculates the coverage based on the insured's policy and determines that the policy limit for business interruption is $20,000. However, the insured argues that the loss exceeds the policy limit because it does not account for future loss of revenue. What should Jane do in this scenario? A. Pay the full $25,000 based on the financial records provided by the insured. B. Pay $20,000 as the policy limit and inform the insured that the policy does not cover future losses. C. Deny the claim entirely as the policy limit has been reached. D. Seek the assistance of a legal professional to dispute the claim. Answer: B. Pay $20,000 as the policy limit and inform the insured that the policy does not cover future losses. Explanation: Jane should adhere to the terms of the insured's policy, which specifies a business interruption coverage limit of $20,000. Although the insured may experience future losses, the policy only covers the specific loss during the covered period and it is not designed to account for anticipated future revenue loss. South Carolina regulations ensure that adjusters are bound by policy limits and exclusions, and Jane must inform the insured that no further coverage is available beyond the policy's stated limits. Question 7. Which of the following methods should an adjuster use to estimate the damage to a vehicle that has been in an accident? A. Depreciation and repair costs should be estimated separately. B. Use of replacement cost estimation without considering the age of the vehicle. C. Replacement cost minus depreciation actual cash value method. D. Estimating the cost of repairs based on the vehicle's book value. Answer: C. Replacement cost minus depreciation actual cash value method. Explanation: the proper method for estimating vehicle damage is the actual cash value (ACV), which takes the replacement cost of the vehicle and deducts depreciation based on the vehicle's age and condition. This method ensures that the insured receives a fair amount for their loss, reflecting the vehicle's value at the time of the incident rather than its new value or book value. In South Carolina, the method for vehicle damage evaluation is clearly outlined and depreciation must be considered to accurately assess the loss. Question 8. Which of the following would not be considered an example of insurance fraud in claims adjusting? A. An adjuster accepting a kickback for settling a claim in favor of a particular vendor. B. An insured intentionally misrepresenting the cause of a loss to inflate a claim. C. An adjuster offering a settlement amount based on a policyholder's request. D. An insured failing to report prior damage to a property during the claim filing. Answer: C. An adjuster offering a settlement amount based on a policyholder's request. Explanation: insurance fraud occurs when false or misleading information is provided with the intent to gain an unfair advantage or financial benefit. The examples of fraud include accepting kickbacks, misrepresenting the cause of a loss, or failing to report previous damages. However, offering a settlement amount based on the policyholder's request does not constitute fraud as long as the offer is within the bounds of the policy's coverage and terms. South Carolina law prohibits fraud by both insureds and adjusters, and failure to adhere to ethical standards can result in legal penalties and license revocation. Question 9. Which of the following types of policies typically excludes coverage for flood damage? A. Homeowners insurance. B. Commercial property insurance. C. Standard property insurance. D. Flood insurance. Answer: A. Homeowners insurance. Explanation: homeowners insurance policies typically exclude coverage for flood damage. Floods are considered a separate risk that requires specialized coverage, such as flood insurance. In South Carolina, homeowners are encouraged to purchase additional flood insurance policies through the National Flood Insurance Program, NFIP, or other insurers that provide such coverage. This exclusion is outlined clearly in most standard homeowners policies, and adjusters must review the policy exclusions to accurately determine what is covered. Question 10. What is the primary purpose of continuing education for licensed adjusters in South Carolina? A. To renew an adjuster's license every 5 years. B. To stay current with changes in the insurance laws and regulations. C. To enable adjusters to expand their client base. D. To provide adjusters with marketing strategies for claims handling. Answer: B. To stay current with changes in the insurance laws and regulations. Explanation: continuing education for adjusters is primarily designed to keep them updated on changes in laws, regulations, and industry best practices. South Carolina law mandates continuing education as part of the license renewal process, ensuring that adjusters remain knowledgeable and compliant with current legal standards. This education is crucial to maintaining ethical practices, understanding new coverage types, and adapting to changes in the insurance landscape. Question 11. What must an adjuster do if they discover potential evidence of fraud during the claims investigation? A. Immediately deny the claim and close the case. B. Report the findings to the appropriate authorities or fraud unit. C. Discuss the findings with the policyholder to get clarification. D. Ignore the evidence unless the claim amount exceeds $10,000. Answer: B. Report the findings to the appropriate authorities or fraud unit. Explanation: when an adjuster discovers potential evidence of fraud, they are ethically and legally required to report their findings to the appropriate authorities or the fraud unit within their company. This is critical to prevent fraudulent claims from being paid and to maintain the integrity of the insurance system. Under South Carolina law, failing to report suspected fraud could lead to legal consequences and violations of professional standards. It's vital for adjusters to follow the established procedures for handling suspected fraud, as this upholds the ethical standards of the industry. Question 12. In the context of adjusting claims, what does the term actual cash value refer to? A. The cost to replace the damaged property with new property. B. The market value of the property immediately before the loss occurred. C. The estimated cost of repairs without depreciation. D. The total insured amount specified in the policy. Answer: B. The market value of the property immediately before the loss occurred. Explanation: actual cash value (ACV) is defined as the market value of the property immediately before the loss occurred, taking into account depreciation. This means that ACV reflects what the property was worth at the time of the loss minus any depreciation for wear and tear. In South Carolina, adjusters are trained to apply the ACV method appropriately during claim evaluations, as it ensures a fair settlement reflecting the true value of the insured property at the time of the loss. Understanding ACV is crucial for both adjusters and policyholders in accurately assessing claims. Question 13. Scenario: Mark, an adjuster, is evaluating a property claim where the homeowner reported damage due to a storm. Upon investigation, he finds that the homeowner had previously filed a claim for roof damage caused by another storm and had not repaired it before the new damage occurred. What should Mark consider when assessing the current claim? A. The current claim should be denied since the homeowner didn't fix the previous damage. B. The current claim can be adjusted regardless of the previous claim status. C. The adjuster must determine if the previous damage contributed to the current claim. D. The adjuster should only focus on the current storm's damage without considering past claims. Answer: C. The adjuster must determine if the previous damage contributed to the current claim. Explanation: in this scenario, Mark must evaluate whether the previous damage affects the current claim for storm damage. Adjusters are responsible for investigating the full context of the damage, including previous claims, to determine how they may influence the current claim. If the previous damage contributed to the loss, it could impact the amount payable under the new claim. South Carolina regulations emphasize thorough investigations and documentation, making it essential for adjusters to consider the entire history of claims and repairs when making assessments. Question 14. Which of the following statements best describes the concept of coverage limits in insurance policies? A. They determine the maximum amount the insurance company will pay for a covered loss. B. They represent the average cost of damages assessed by the adjuster. C. They are the minimum amount a policyholder must pay out of pocket for a claim. D. They are set by the state and cannot be changed by the insurer. Answer A. They determine the maximum amount the insurance company will pay for a covered loss. Explanation: coverage limits refer to the maximum amount an insurance company will pay for a covered loss under an insurance policy. This limit is predetermined in the policy and is critical in determining the financial responsibility of the insurer in the event of a claim. Understanding coverage limits is essential for both policyholders and adjusters, as they dictate the extent of financial protection available. In South Carolina, policyholders should be made aware of their coverage limits to ensure they have adequate protection against potential losses. Question 15. What is the primary objective of an adjuster during the claims investigation process? A. To reduce the total amount payable by the insurance company. B. To gather information to determine the validity of the claim. C. To ensure the policyholder feels satisfied with the claims process. D. To make a judgment on the claimant's character. Answer. B. To gather information to determine the validity of the claim. Explanation. The primary objective of an adjuster during the claims investigation is to gather comprehensive information to assess the validity of the claim. This includes collecting evidence, interviewing involved parties, and reviewing policy provisions to determine whether the claim should be paid and how much is warranted. Justers in South Carolina are trained to remain impartial and objective throughout the process, focusing on factual information to make informed decisions based on policy coverage and the circumstances of the loss. Question 16. Which of the following scenarios represents a first-party claim in insurance? A. A driver files a claim for damages caused to another vehicle in an accident. B. A homeowner files a claim for fire damage to their own home. C. A business owner files a claim against a customer for non-payment. D. A tenant files a claim for theft of personal items from a rental unit. Answer. B. A homeowner files a claim for fire damage to their own home. Explanation. A first-party claim occurs when the insured files a claim for damages to their own property under their own insurance policy. In this case, the homeowner is seeking compensation for damage to their property due to a fire. This is distinct from a third-party claim where the insured seeks compensation for damages they caused to another party. Understanding the difference between first-party and third-party claims is essential for adjusters as it influences the claims process and the types of coverage involved. South Carolina insurance regulations clearly define these categories to ensure appropriate handling of claims. Question 17. Which of the following is a critical factor in determining whether a claim for water damage is covered under a standard homeowner's insurance policy? A. The cause of the water damage, whether it was sudden or gradual. B. The total amount of damage incurred by the homeowner. C. The location of the property. D. The number of claims previously filed by the insured. Answer. A. The cause of water damage, whether it was sudden or gradual. Explanation. In determining coverage for water damage under a standard homeowner's policy, the cause of the damage is critical. Policies typically cover sudden and accidental water damage, such as a burst pipe, but exclude gradual damage, such as leaks over time or damage caused by flooding. South Carolina adjusters must carefully assess the nature of the water damage and refer to the specific language of the policy to determine if coverage applies. Understanding these nuances is essential for effective claims handling. Question 18. What is the primary purpose of loss control measures in insurance? A. To determine the final payout amount for claims. B. To minimize the risk of loss and reduce claims frequency. C. To enhance the adjuster's negotiation skills. D. To increase the coverage limits of a policy. Answer. B. To minimize the risk of loss and reduce claims frequency. Explanation. Loss control measures aim to minimize risks and prevent losses before they occur. By implementing effective safety protocols and risk management strategies, insurers and policyholders can reduce the frequency and severity of claims. Just as often play a role in advising on loss control measures during the claims process, as they can help clients identify potential risks and implement strategies to mitigate them. In South Carolina, insurers are encouraged to promote loss control to protect both their financial interests and those of the insured. Question 19. Scenario. During a claim investigation for a property loss, an adjuster discovers that the insured failed to maintain their property, which contributed to the extent of the damage. How should the adjuster proceed in this situation? A. Immediately deny the claim based on lack of maintenance. B. Assess the damages while documenting the maintenance issues for future reference. C. Increase the claim amount to account for the failure to maintain the property. D. Advise the insured to repair the property before filing a claim. Answer. B. Assess the damages while documenting the maintenance issues for future reference. Explanation. The adjuster should assess the damages while also documenting any maintenance issues that contributed to the extent of the damage. This documentation is important for determining liability and potential coverage issues, but it does not automatically lead to a claim denial. Adjusters must adhere to the policy's terms and conditions, which may provide coverage despite maintenance issues depending on the cause of loss. In South Carolina, thorough documentation and communication with the insured are essential for transparent claims handling. Question 20. What role does an adjuster play in the arbitration process when a claim dispute arises? A. The adjuster acts as a judge to make the final decision. B. The adjuster represents the insurance company's interests only. C. The adjuster gathers evidence and facilitates the arbitration process. D. The adjuster has no role in arbitration and must remain neutral. Answer: C. The adjuster gathers evidence and facilitates the arbitration process. Explanation: during the arbitration process, the adjuster plays a crucial role by gathering evidence, providing documentation, and facilitating the exchange of information between parties. While the adjuster must remain neutral and unbiased, they are responsible for ensuring that all relevant information is presented and considered during arbitration. This process is often used to resolve disputes between the insured and the insurer over claims. South Carolina laws outline the arbitration process, ensuring that both parties have the opportunity to present their case fairly. The adjuster's involvement helps streamline the process and ensures that all necessary documentation is available for review by the arbitrator, who ultimately makes the binding decision. Understanding this role is critical for adjusters as they navigate complex claims and work towards resolution. Question 21. What should an adjuster do if a policyholder disagrees with the settlement amount offered for their claim? A. Insist that the policyholder accept the offer. B. Explain the basis for the settlement amount and discuss any additional documentation needed. C. Reassess the claim without additional evidence. D. Immediately escalate the issue to management without engaging with the policyholder. Answer: B. Explain the basis for the settlement amount and discuss any additional documentation needed. Explanation: if a policyholder disagrees with the settlement amount, the adjuster should engage in a discussion to explain how the settlement was calculated, including the factors and documentation that informed the decision. This includes being open to reviewing any additional evidence or documentation the policyholder may provide. Effective communication is key to resolving disputes and maintaining trust. Adjusters in South Carolina are trained to facilitate these discussions to ensure policyholders feel heard and understood while adhering to the policy terms. Question 22. Which type of coverage would typically protect a homeowner from losses due to theft? A. Dwelling coverage. B. Personal property coverage. C. Liability coverage. D. Additional living expenses coverage. Answer: B. Personal property coverage. Explanation: personal property coverage is designed to protect a homeowner's belongings from losses due to theft, fire, or other covered perils. This coverage typically extends to items inside the home, such as furniture, electronics, and clothing. Adjusters must assess the value of the stolen items and ensure that the policyholder has the appropriate level of coverage to meet their needs. Understanding the various types of coverage is crucial for adjusters in determining the validity and extent of claims in South Carolina. Question 23. What is the primary purpose of the exclusions section in an insurance policy? A. To list all possible claims that can be filed. B. To outline the maximum payout limits for claims. C. To specify what is not covered under the policy. D. To provide details on the claims process. Answer: C. To specify what is not covered under the policy. Explanation: the exclusions section of an insurance policy outlines specific situations, perils, or types of damages that are not covered. This section is crucial for both insurers and policyholders as it helps set clear expectations regarding the limits of coverage. Adjusters must be familiar with these exclusions when evaluating claims to ensure accurate assessments and to communicate effectively with policyholders about what is covered under the policy. In South Carolina, understanding exclusions is essential for fair and compliant claims handling. Question 24. Scenario: an adjuster is reviewing a claim for a damaged vehicle. The policyholder has provided an estimate from a repair shop. However, the adjuster finds a lower estimate from a different shop. What should the adjuster do? A. Automatically accept the lower estimate and deny the higher one. B. Discuss the estimates with the policyholder and consider both in the evaluation. C. Dismiss the claim since the policyholder submitted the higher estimate. D. Request additional estimates until a consensus is reached. Answer: B. Discuss the estimates with the policyholder and consider both in the evaluation. Explanation: the adjuster should engage in a conversation with the policyholder to discuss both estimates. It's important to consider the reasons behind the differences in cost and ensure that the policyholder understands the basis for the evaluations. Adjusters must evaluate claims based on a fair and reasonable assessment of repair costs, which may include considering multiple estimates. In South Carolina, communication and transparency are key components of effective claims management. Question 25. Which of the following statements is true regarding the subrogation in the insurance context? A. It allows the insurance company to collect premiums directly from the insured. B. It enables the insurer to pursue recovery from the third party after paying a claim. C. It requires the insured to repay any claims paid by the insurer. D. It is a type of insurance fraud involving multiple policies. Answer: B. That enables the insurer to pursue recovery from a third party after paying a claim. Explanation: subrogation is the legal process by which an insurance company, after paying a claim to its insured, can seek to recover the costs from a third party that may have been responsible for the loss. This process helps insurers mitigate their losses and can lower premiums for policyholders. Adjusters need to be aware of subrogation rights as they investigate claims, especially in cases where another party may be liable for the damages. Understanding subrogation is essential for compliance with South Carolina insurance regulations and for ensuring fair compensation for the insured. Question 26. What information should an adjuster document during the claims process? A. Personal opinions about the policyholder's character. B. Only the final settlement amount offered. C. All communications, findings, and decisions made during the investigation. D. The adjuster's own assumptions about the claim's outcome. Answer: C. All communications, findings, and decisions made during the investigation. Explanation: an adjuster must document all communications, findings, and decisions made throughout the claims investigation process. This documentation serves as a critical record for the claims file and can be essential if disputes arise later. Proper documentation is not only a best practice but also a regulatory requirement in South Carolina, ensuring transparency and accountability in the claims process. Adjusters should be meticulous in their record keeping to protect both the insurer's interests and the rights of the policyholder. Question 27. In which situation would an adjuster likely invoke the replacement cost provision in a homeowner's insurance policy? A. When assessing the market value of a home before a loss. B. When evaluating claims for personal property lost in a fire. C. When calculating the depreciation of damaged property. D. When determining liability in an accident involving multiple vehicles. Answer: B. When evaluating claims for personal property lost in a fire. Explanation: the replacement cost provision in a homeowner's insurance policy is typically invoked when evaluating claims for personal property lost in a fire or other covered peril. This provision allows the insured to receive the amount necessary to replace the lost or damaged property with new items of similar kind and quality, without factoring in depreciation. Adjusters in South Carolina need to be familiar with replacement cost provisions to accurately assess claims and ensure policyholders receive appropriate compensation for their losses. Question 20. What is the primary difference between an actual cash value, KIV, and replacement cost in the context of insurance claims? A. ACV accounts for depreciation while replacement cost does not. B. Replacement cost is typically lower than ACV. C. ACV only applies to real property, while replacement cost applies to personal property. D. There is no difference. They are interchangeable terms. Answer: A. ACV accounts for depreciation while replacement cost does not. Explanation: the primary difference between actual cash value ACV and replacement cost lies in how each value is calculated. ACV is determined by taking the replacement cost of the item and subtracting depreciation, reflecting the item's current market value at the time of loss. In contrast, replacement cost provides the amount necessary to replace the item without deducting for depreciation. Adjusters must understand these concepts to accurately evaluate claims and communicate effectively with policyholders regarding the financial implications of their coverage options. In South Carolina, knowing the distinctions between these valuations is essential for fair claims handling. Question 29. Scenario: Maria has filed a claim after significant storm caused damage to her home. The insurance company has completed an inspection and estimates that repairs will cost $50,000. Maria, however, believes the damages are much higher and insists that additional structural issues exist. What steps should the adjuster take to address Maria's concerns? A. Inform Maria that the claim is denied since the company already provided an estimate. B. Suggest Maria hire a private contractor and submit the new estimate. C. Reassess the claim by conducting a detailed investigation to address the additional concerns. D. Escalate the claim immediately to management without further investigation. Answer: C. Reassess the claim by conducting a detailed investigation to address the additional concerns. Explanation: In this scenario, the adjuster should take Maria's concerns seriously and conduct a detailed investigation to address the potential additional structural issues she believes exist. This may involve re-evaluating the damages, consulting with contractors or specialists, and considering any new evidence Maria provides. Open communication and thorough documentation are crucial in this process to ensure that all aspects of the claim are fairly evaluated. In South Carolina, adjusters are obligated to conduct fair and thorough investigations to uphold the ethical standards of their profession and to provide the policyholder with the coverage they are entitled to under their policy. Question 30. Which of the following is a common ethical concern an adjuster must navigate when handling claims? A. Ensuring all claims are paid in full regardless of coverage limits. B. Avoiding any form of communication with the insured. C. Disclosing confidential information about other claims to the policyholder. D. Maintaining impartiality and avoiding conflicts of interest. Answer: D. Maintaining impartiality and avoiding conflicts of interest. Explanation: maintaining impartiality and avoiding conflicts of interest are critical ethical concerns for adjusters. Adjusters must ensure that their evaluations and decisions are made based on objective assessments and that they do not have any personal or financial interests that could influence their professional judgment. Ethical standards set by the National Association of Insurance Commissioners (NAIC) and enforced by state regulations in South Carolina emphasize the importance of transparency, integrity, and fairness in claims handling. Adjusters should be trained to recognize and mitigate any potential conflicts to maintain trust with policyholders and uphold the ethical standards of the insurance profession.